Yeah, we already got Tom, Kench, and Malzahar taken away from the table. Kind of surprised to see the Malzahar so quickly, though. Mhm. I miss the days of Jungle Malzahar. Those were some fun, fun days. Those were some fun, fun days. Same with Lulu. I mean, technically, right now, I jungled two of these people. I didn't jungle Vladimir. It didn't really work. No. Hey, that one I'd say makes a little bit more sense. She did get a couple buffs in the last patch after having gotten nerfed pretty well in 8.3. Yeah, I do like that Braum pickup. It's going to be something kind of nice, and also makes it so even if they wanted to pick Ornn for Principia, it just wouldn't be something you could go for. It's already been nerfed to the ground. Now this is the death sentence. You take Braum early on and you say no, no, no. No. But something that's been really strong in the meta was that Darius that was hovered, but we're gonna get Aurelion Sol instead, really early into the draft as well. Yeah, yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
muted on
so
stream. Look at that. I'm not now. Thank you very much
yeah,
for
there we
that.
go. No problem. I kind of just turned my head a little bit because I'm like, there's a lot going on in
Yeah.
the corner of my eye. So we got that figured out. Sorry guys, we got it
Yeah,
all.
very,
We got it
very,
all under.
yeah, very sorry
It
about that
happens.
one. Yeah.
Technical issues, they do arise every now and then, but we're getting to the second part of the pick and bans. Aurelia and Galio taken away, and Aurelia and now Shen. Man, this is a lot of top lane focus coming in from Principia.
Yeah, the Kled Aurelia and Shin really paying some respect to Keith King up there on the side of Truman State. So they're going to be taking away a lot of those aggressive players, not to mention the global one. Now, Gangplank is still up. That is an option over on the side of Truman if they decide to go with that one. As I was saying, though, no one heard, Aurelion Sol being locked in first allows Principia to be counterpicked relatively easily. Now, Azir's not going to be that because it just got taken off. But there's a lot of risk first picking your mid laner first. Everybody has. So one of the things that Riot did that was actually really cool is they unlocked all the champions for everybody. So for that was in the tournament. And even if you go into the Teemo Cup, you still have all those champions. If I'm not mistaken here. So you can't really blame this on trading. They just outright first picked that in the first, well, not first picked, first picked mid compared to Principia. They still have a mid. Tom Food is actually going to pick that one up over on the side of Principia. Unless they go with the cheeky Scion AP mid, which I've been seeing, which is an absolute nightmare. And honestly, could work against Aurelion Sol because one of the things about Aurelion Sol is that he doesn't like people getting into his bubble. Once you hit level 6, you can get people out of that bubble. But until then, and you only have that option once unless you just have an impeccable positioning. But Scion, with his ultimate, could just run right into you. And if you try to counter that with Aurelion Sol's ultimate, it's not going to work because Scion is unstoppable. But they're going to pick Ryze, who makes a little bit more sense in the mid lane, less cheesy. But Aurelion Sol still, I feel like, maybe having a little bit difficult time. Ryze is not a huge counter or anything like that because Ryze doesn't have any gap closers, and he has to be right in the face of Aurelion Sol to get into the face of Aurelion Sol. And Aurelion Sol, he does have his maneuvers to get to position himself properly. He has a stun. He does have his ultimate that can push people back out to his outer sphere with his circle, his passive. So it's going to be interesting. I'm actually surprised they picked Ryze, but Ryze is a decent champion right now with the way the meta is and the new items, Archangel Staff.
I honestly would have preferred them to go for something a little bit more assassiny into an Aurelion Sol, especially now that they've been kind of buffed in various ways. People don't even realize this, especially with the Glacial Augment slowly but surely getting some buffs. Aurelion Sol not happy whenever someone goes into the bubble like you had mentioned, so honestly that would have been something really interesting to see come out of Principia, but I do understand the Ryze trying to play much more for that team fight oriented style as well as going for wave clear. Plus, Ryze right now in this meta is considered one of the strongest mid laners.
Yeah, the item tweaks really helped him out, especially Archangel Staff. I mean, a lot of things give extra movement speed now, along with extra cooldown reduction, which helps anybody. Ryze, especially the movement speed, and Archangel Staff does still have the shield and the mana build up as well. So. Yeah, Ryze, no, overall is a good pick. A little interesting if you want to counter Aurelion Sol, but Principia, they might not even be caring about countering individual lanes. They just want to work on doing an overall team comp. They have 2 power players with Ryze and Tristana, and a lot of backup as far as their front line to help them with the Sion, Sejuani, and Taric. And not to mention Taric with the Cosmic Radiance. If anyone does get to the back lines, there's not really anybody to do that on the side of Truman, except for Kayn. He does have Cosmic Radiance to help out and keep everyone alive.
Yeah, but the problem for me for Truman State is their team composition looks very disjointed, disorganized. Because if you look at it, it's got Kayn, who wants to go onto the backline. He wants to try to see if he can take someone out, and the only person he could really do that onto is maybe Tristana, but Taric is great at countering that. Then Aurelion Sol, Maokai, they're much more about peel or trying to get a little bit of that CC, but they're not going to be joining Kayn into the backline. So he's going to be on a solo mission.
Yeah, very much so, and that is yeah, that like you said, disjointed is definitely the word, especially at Aurelion Sol. He is definitely a wild card in there, which Aurelion Sol can really turn around a fight if he positions himself properly, and just lets his outer ring just pelt away at everybody. Was it like every 1 second or so? It's a very slow process. It's like seeing a train come at you, and you just if you try to move, it moves with you. That's one of the things about Aurelion Sol. So if you can get positioned properly, it can work out. But there's so much on the side of Principia to just stop that.
Exactly.
Now, with that being said, though, Braum is a nice front line, Maokai, nice front line. They might just be waiting for an engage from Principia and want to counter engage that with the Kayn and Aurelion Sol positioning along with Varus.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how these two teams are going to go at it. But before we get into this game, let's give some quick shout-outs to our many sponsors and give some social plugs as well. As always, we want to give some great gratitude towards Twitch, one of the largest streaming platforms in gaming, and they love to support esports college League of Legends from PAX East to PAX West. They've been doing so many events for CSL, and we're really happy to be a part of this organization, this platform that really enables us to provide this kind of content to you guys, the viewers.
Yeah, very much so. We do want to give a shout out to our own social medias, of course. You can put !Discord into the Discord chat and join our Discord community, have a voice, and just be part of the overall roar that is the CSL community. And of course, follow us on Twitch. There's at C Star League or CSL LOL if you just want strictly collegiate League of Legends material. And you can also follow our Facebook at facebook.com/C Star League. And we also want to give a shout out over to our YouTube as well, because you can find VODs on there if you have you want to look at any of the past broadcasts, any of the shows. We have Word Up, we have the Quad, and again, we are broadcasting everything collegiate, not just League of Legends, CSGO, Dota 2, StarCraft. Go check that out on our YouTube at youtube.com/C Star League. We are actually going to be getting into game here as we are approaching the loading screen. And and also, since there are new brackets out for the actual the playoffs of the main 4 conferences, remember you can put !West brackets, !North brackets, and so on with the South and the East to find brackets overall for the main conferences that are in the playoffs now.
Yeah. Sorry, just had to yawn really quick. Right?
You're good, man. Sorry, I think I cut myself off like a very inappropriate time. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, but I always love looking at the champion screen, the loading screen, just because it gives us an idea of the keystones that we're gonna see. Like one that stands out for me is gonna be that phase rush on to the Aurelion Sol, because we don't get to see too much of Aurelion Sol. Plus, the phase rush will give him a lot of that movement speed that he lacks, especially into the rise that you mentioned. He's going to be getting a lot of that bonus movement speed from his items and his abilities already.
Yeah, and actually, this is really coincidental that we're doing a casting Aurelion Sol, because I've actually been playing Aurelion Sol outside of rank just to practice him, and I've been getting advice from a player in the collegiate scene about Aurelion Sol because he mains him, and at least off screen, he doesn't really do too much of the team comp thing with Aurelion Sol because he is an odd number inside the team comp here. But yeah, phase rush actually really good for him because, yeah, like you said, it does help him position himself. Oops, I already got back into game now. It does help him position himself, and that is exactly what you need. With Aurelion Sol, it is extremely important to position yourself properly, because if you don't, that's half your damage gone, because a lot of your damage is just your rotating stars around you. You have a Q to stun, you have that stuns, an ult that shoves people away, but those aren't consistent, and those are not your main source of damage. Your main source of damage is your stars rotating around you, and if you don't position yourself to make those hit, then you're not doing any damage, and you're just kind of a liability at that point.
But both teams now loaded up. Truman State taking it on at Principia. Really excited to see how these two teams that are going to represent the first game we get a broadcast of the Teemo Cup for the North region. As they go at it, it's really interesting to see how they're trying to see if they can play it. No cheese coming out from either side.
No, not yet. There is a little bit of clumping on the bot side of Principia, but that's just a scout out, just to make sure there is not going to be any invade. They're not really too worried about the red side, it doesn't seem like, or the red buff, as they haven't thrown a ward out, though. Aristotle is going up there right now. Nice name, by the way, Aristotle. Great philosopher of our generation. Actually, I want to say our generation, our times.
Our generation, man. I knew you were old.
I'm ancient.
Wow, man, this is interesting. Learning new things about Fecus every day, guys.
So there is a minion dematerializer on Aristotle in the mid lane, which actually is really good. So let's get a little bit more into 8.4 patch. It's kind of the League of Banners right now. You might have seen the EULCS just completely abuse League of Banners, and well, you're gonna see banner commands on almost every support, I would assume. Sometimes even top lane, sometimes even more than that. If you want to go solo queue about this, you're going to build banner command on at least 3 members of your team, which is absolutely ridiculous. But one of the things that is really cool is that the minion dematerializer can zap away a bannered minion just like that. Now, the downside of that is you have an item slot there that you have to dedicate to dematerializer, and if you want to keep a hold of that all the way through, you have to sacrifice an item slot, which is kind of a bane for a lot of people. Don't really see it too often. Actually, we haven't seen it too often in general because it's still new, but some trading going on in the mid lane here.
Flavolus and Aristotle going at it. Seems this Aurelion Sol doing his job that he loves to do, which is shoving out waves as quickly as possible, consistently as possible, into Aristotle, making it very difficult for this Rise to do too much, though. Nice CS coming in still in this early stage of the game.
Yeah, not so bad, and it is an early start, and that's actually a good early start for Aurelion Sol. He is very powerful at the early levels when you don't have enough combos to go in onto him inside of his inner circle. We have it in jungle invade, though.
Yeah, it doesn't go for TB Rosen too well. He tries to see if he can get the Shadow Walk, has to flash away, but this is the collapse of Shelf. Was not enough for the top lane because Hypet Cactus is making the roam. Gonna get the slap down onto Flavus. A lot of damage, forcing the flash out of the dragon. Bionic Bubble wanted to continue the press, but wasn't able to find any knockbacks on that Arctic Assault. So they all end up living, but a lot of summoners blown for Truman.
Yeah, I believe the buff actually was stolen away. I don't remember seeing a red buff on Bionic Bubble, but regardless, yeah, that is two summoners down. The jungle, not so bad. Kane, he has an escape. Aurelion Sol, really bad. He doesn't have an escape. He does have that stun, but that's about it. Other than that, he needs that flash in order to stay super safe in that mid lane. And he does have like a wide travel range with one of his abilities. I believe it's his E. But it can be interrupted whenever you get auto attacks, so that's not going to be a huge escape tool, escape mechanism for the mid laner Arcadius here as he goes in onto Aristotle.
Getting the exhaust out of Aristotle as well as using the Rune Prison, but Bionic Bubble flashing in to knock him back. A lot of damage. First blood, Aristotle.
And that's what happens when you don't have a flash. That was very nicely played by a Bionic Bubble. Knew he didn't have a flash. Got the flash out of Arcadius early on. Just rotate back around. Saw that he was overextended. Easy to pick up Aristotle with the Rune Prison. Very nice first blood over to Principia.
Yeah, you gotta love that knowledge of saying, hey, we got the summoner out of Flavorless already. Might as well go punish this Aurelion Soul for playing a little bit too greedy early on.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you have to do. And he still has his flash out. That was extremely early too. So his flash is going to be down for a few, about 3 more minutes still. So that means that he can just come back around and do the exact same thing again. Now Bionic Bubble uses flash to get there, but Aristotle still has his. So still options there. And let's look at Aristotle's keystone. He does have the spell book, the unsealed spell book. So he used the exhaust. That doesn't mean he's going to keep the exhaust. If he gets the advantage in the mid lane, he actually could go more ignite or even a teleport if he's getting such an advantage in the mid lane. But we have a roam to the bot side. This is what Aurelion Soul really excels at, are these roams.
Exactly, he's coming in, trying to see if he can get the lockdown onto Tristana right behind him. Getting a couple knocks on to Tristana, but she already had flashed out of there, so she's back under her tower. No concussive blow stacks today to stop him in his tracks, but does get the double summons out of the door.
So that's what you need to do to Aurelion Soul. You're not going to win a lane outright, more than likely, unless you just are a beast with Aurelion Soul, and he takes a lot to really master. Now, what you can do, roam to the bot side, because again, he does have that large range of movement with his E. And that's exactly what you need to do, roam to the bot side. Didn't get a kill, but did get 2 summoners. Now we have a gank in the mid lane.
We're having a double gank coming in as Bionic Bubble is there as well. TV Rosen just gonna throw out the Reap, try to scare away the Sejuani. He doesn't want to actually fight this one yet.
No, not yet. Just gonna back off here as Arcadia is still going aggressive in onto our Aristotle, despite Bionic Bubble being relatively in the presence. But he does have Rosen also in the area. But we have another gank on the bot side.
Yeah, but this time it's spotted out by the ward. Nice warding coming in for Highsmith to make sure to keep his bot lane as safe as possible. But a lot of action attempted by both teams, but very little has come in the way of either. Even that first blood going over towards the side of Principia hasn't really mattered them too much in ways of a lead.
Yeah, no, with lack of tracker knife, it's hard to really, obviously, track where the junglers are, but they're ganking so often that lanes can play pretty aggressively, knowing exactly where the junglers are. There's been a lot of showing in the mid lane. Hasn't really been anything top lane, and my pet Cactus and Dekeef King have just been kind of on an island up there, comfortable. They're about even CS. Dekeef King's not even, they didn't even use their, both went back, didn't even use their teleports because they know nothing's really happening on the top side. They were going to need to save that for the bot side with these aggressive jungle ganks coming out from both teams. I actually really enjoy seeing that. Now, Arcadius picked up a Dark Seal. I would have to assume that's for mana issues, because I don't feel like he's going to be able to stack it. He's already 0-1-0. He's beginning pressured quite a bit, something that an Aurelion Soul does not handle very well early on, even with the phase rush. I'm assuming that's just for mana, and that is going to help us sustain mana, because he does drain mana quite a bit, especially when he's going aggro.
Well, this is where I wish we could see what the runes fully are, because he could have also opted for the inspiration tree, even though he went sorcerers for the main. He could have had the secondary be inspiration, get that new rune that they added where you get the increased effects of potions whenever they're chugging, because you went corrupting pot first. You get more movement speed, they have a longer duration, so top that off with the Dark Seal that does the same thing. That's just double the effect, and you stay a lot stronger and get even more mana in lane.
Yeah, I would actually assume that is what he took, because that is a very valid point. We have an invade coming in here. Bionic Bubble cannot step over to his blue buff, or red buff, I should say, and there's a level 6 advantage.
Shadow walk. He wants to go hard onto it. Doesn't matter if there's a roam coming in from Aristotle. Not going to really help out his jungler. They will return it, at least, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. He couldn't keep the life of his Sejuani alive. And now Flavorless flashed in. He didn't get that roar in the right direction, so didn't knock anybody back towards his team.
Yeah, Arcadius making a roam to the bot side. He used the flash, so that is down. Not going to be good for him. But I do want to point out, Rosen did not use his ultimate, I don't believe. He could have survived a little bit longer. Knew he was going to die, though, but still maybe able to do a little bit of damage. By the time he gets back to the jungle, it should be almost up if he had used it. But I'm not going to hold on to that one. Now, little bit of contention top lane. Oh, my pet cactus actually has double buffs out of this one. This is actually his fight right now.
Yeah, he's trying to see if he can beat on to Keith. It is technically, you know, a wet noodle fight, but it's going pretty well for my pet cactus. He's getting this Maokai really low, but it's so hard to kill. We didn't get to see mid lane either.
Oh,
Flame
no!
was able to get the kill onto Aristotle.
I would have loved to see that. The Ignite is used, so that is, I mean, that is something that Arcadius had the advantage of our skill potential. Aristotle didn't have any sort of summoners, but there is a gank on the top side.
Oh, gank on the top. That's nowhere that pet cactus can run to. He might be able to. He's trying to see if he can run under the tower, but he realizes, so he's just going to clear out the wave.
Yeah, the minion block almost actually screwed up Keith King's escape there, but he got out just in time. And my pet cactus, yeah, just opting to get those minions, those ever so precious minions who just started a banner of command in the top side.
Hey, you know that they say that right now is the League of Banner of Command, so might as well
I heard that somewhere.
Go into full effect with that, so my pet cactus making the best work, and it does great into Maokai, who struggles to clear out without his abilities.
Yeah, and he is not building toward banner. He is he's a patch behind going with that Sunfire, it looks like. So with the Bammy Cinder and the cloth armor. So Banner Command, he is going to be able to shove this one pretty hard on the top side, especially, Banner Command especially becomes powerful whenever you get the Baron minions. That Baron is what Banner Command is really used for in this meta. As I talk about, we have a gank, although he might just be, he's going to be safe. Aristotle is going underneath this turret. With the Baron empowered minions on 8.4, sorry about that, 8.4, they got quite a bit buff on the minions for whenever you get Baron. Baron empowered minions is what I'm talking about. But that's when it really comes in handy. The banner, you want to wait for Baron to actually use the banner. I mean, obviously, if you have it, use it whenever you can. But whenever you have a Baron empowered cannon minion, you throw the banner of command on that cannon minion to make it even more powerful. We'll talk about it in a moment. We have a game.
Gang coming in, Pet Cactus's bot lane. That was the Chain of Corruptions getting the root onto 2 members as they got the knockup as well. But there's a fight coming into the river as well as TB Rose is trying to see if he can duel with the jungle and mid laner. It's all of these lanes trying to fight. Positive Grading's coming in, but it's going to be Aristotle who goes down first. The Shadow Walk to give a little bit of help, but the Dragon helps finish off TB Rose's. Slap coming in, knocks up 2 members. Great knockup coming in from my Pet Cactus, but is it going to help out his team get the damage? The Butcher Shot with the explosion will pick up the kill in the backline on it to keep as they try to turn it around onto Mucky in the mid lane. Bionic Bubble will try to see if he can turn it onto Flavorless as well. Flash coming forward from the door as he finally gets the finishing blow onto High Smith in the mid lane. We didn't even get to see Flavorless. He was finally able to out-duel Bionic Bubble.
That was the most chaotic team skirmish I've seen this whole season. That was on the bot side and in the jungle, and or the river specifically. And there's a banner command minion on the bot side to help them out, shove a little bit more for Principia. Overall, though, that was a 2 for 3 in favor, I believe, for Truman. I think it was Truman. I'm not sure. I don't remember the.
Honestly, I'd say nobody gets the edge off that because
Yeah.
they couldn't really get onto any advantages for objectives. No one was able to go onto that Ocean Drake. No one able to turn their attention onto these towers. Only chip damage coming in from Dodor and Tom Food bot lane.
Yeah, we do. But we did see that that kill in the mid lane. So that was Bionic Bubble going down in to Arcadius, who actually has 6 stacks on his Dark Seal. So, you know, what the hell do I know? I haven't casted an Aurelion Soul all season. Apparently, Arcadius wants to show me that there are Aurelion Soul mains and to show me how it's done. So congratulations to him. 6 stacks on the Dark Seal. So he's building that one up quite well. And that allows him to not only get that extra mana gem, but have that power as well. And he is on the top side trying to look for something. I don't think it's going to happen though, man.
Yeah, Flavius just getting a little bit of poke damage with those stars, but Cactus was already well under his tower. And plus he's getting pretty tanky. That Banner of Command also helping to shove out the wave just a little bit. So I don't think there's much Flavius could actually do in that.
No, it doesn't look like it. He's just going to stay safe. And I do want to point out, so Aristotle, he still has 4 dematerializer options to use here at 13 minutes. Typically see him go a little bit faster. Hold on, though. Realm Warp coming in, getting in a Bionic Bubble. Very nice.
He gets his jungler out of dodge, so he doesn't have to worry too much about TB Rosen going on to him. It's going pretty nice for the side of Principia. They're not having to worry about too much, and they're getting a nice fight back. But if Aristotle gets himself caught out, even under tower, might not help out. That was the voice to do a lot of damage. The shield helps him turn it around on it to the jungler, though.
These fights have been so scrappy, so 1 for 1 in the mid lane. But it is a 1v2 overall. Aristotle did win since he got a kill. More fights on the top side. These teams are so scrappy.
Yeah, this is the Teemo Cup. This is kind of what you
Yeah.
expect. Hey, Teemo approved too. Got the emote to show it.
Yeah. And we kind of expected this was the Teemo Cup. I mean, a lot of, like, I guess you say higher elo play. You do see the more methodical, drawn out, wait for an opportunity. These teams, they want to make opportunities, and that's by being aggressive. So that's extremely fun to play, or fun to view, I should say. Man, sometimes it can get exhausting because it's just non-stop. But we do see My Pet Cactus on the top side with that banner command still. See what he's going to be building next. You would think he might be starting a slow push. It's actually really hard to use the banner command during laning phase because the teams are just going to clear it out. Like I said, it's best used whenever you have Baron empowered minions, or at least built around the 25-minute mark whenever the Baron starts becoming an issue here. Hold on.
Yeah, we're about to
All
see
right.
a bot lane. It's going to be Tomfood. He just goes down too quickly. Great cancellation of the rocket jump to pick up the double kill for Mucky. Now, topside getting more action. Relmore behind to cut off to Keith King as he can't run anywhere from Aristotle. Gets a little bit of damage, but it doesn't matter because the top and jungler will finally finish him off with one more slap onto the head of the tree.
And they did pick up that kill on the top side, but the bot side turret is going to go down. That's the first turret of the game going over to Truman State, so they get that extra bonus gold. It's going to be answered on the top side, and you would think that Truman State, they want to start this dragon, seeing that Bionic Bubble is on the top side. And this is going to be the Ocean Drake, which is going to help them during any sort of sieges, long drawn-out team fights. I don't know if they've been long drawn out yet, but
Not just yet,
the
but...
Ocean Drake's still good.
But for Truman State, things just went very well for them. They got 2 towers, mid and Vaunt, then get the Ocean Drake for themselves as well. So if they want to set up a siege, it's going to be that much more impactful for them. They're going to be able to regen pretty effectively. Even if it's not too much, it still sets up a little bit.
Exactly, and that's why it's so advantageous to focus on that bot side as a jungler. Gank that and put priority as a roaming mid on the bot side, because with an ADC, you can take a tower so much faster than you can with a mid lane, a jungle, and a top side. You can take it so much faster if you have 4 members on the bottom, even just 3 members with one of them being an ADC. You can take a tower so much quicker, and then you can rotate to that extra objective, that dragon. Most people don't go for the Rift Herald unless the enemy team is going for the dragon. And once they see that, they will rotate up to the top side for that Rift Herald to get sort of a consolation prize. Hold on, there's a gank.
Oh. Yeah, Smith has got himself caught out. He got slapped up by the axe, and he's been stunned up for quite some time. Had to flash away, but Rosen finally shows up. Exhaust coming in from Aristotle, trying to help him out, but Flavius coming in behind, doing a lot of extra damage into the back line as they finally finish off Aristotle. My Pet Cactus will follow as well as the double kill goes over for Rosen. Cactus, he says he wants to do something from the grave, but sadly it's not going to amount to much.
I think I'm seeing what Truman is going for with their team comp now. I was actually talking about Principia being the more traditional team comp, looking stronger, and Truman State being a little bit more of a wild card, especially Aurelion Sol. But I see what they're doing now, because Kane, he can go through walls, pretty much come out of nowhere. Aurelion Sol can do the exact same thing with his giant voyage through space over mountains and everything like that. So a 2v4, or I should say a 2v2, can easily be turned into a 2v4 in favor of Truman State. Now they pick up the Rift Herald and the top lane turret. They are in full command of this game.
Yeah, they do an amazing job. They get themselves a Rift Herald. I was even going to mention that we saw Mucky and Highsmith rotating towards the top side of the map. So the obvious play was that they wanted to try to see if they can get that tower and then go for the Rift Herald, especially with the Door and Tomfood not making any sort of inkling that they wanted to rotate as well to match that pressure coming in from the AD carrying bot of Truman.
Yeah, and they are just going to actually go back on that bot side, actually. That's actually Doter's side. While looks like there's actually no turrets to rotate to now, so it looks like Mucky and Highsmith, they're just going to go mid, maybe pressure that. They do have a Rift Herald to work with right now on the side of Rosen. And the inner mid lane turret would blow open the map way more for them. I mean, they already have control of the map considering they have the outer turrets down for Principia. But having that inner turret would also give them almost free roaming ability and warding ability on the side of the jungle, of both sides of the jungle of Principia. And that's definitely the objective they should be going for. But it looks like they may be rotating up top side. Maybe. I think they may be going for a cheeky play against My Pet Cactus.
Good. Trying to see if they can collapse onto him. He does not have the ult just yet. It just came off of cooldown, but instead it's going to be the play onto the Door, who rocket jumps away, but he's hit up by the root, and the flash coming in from Rosen with the Umbral Trespass to finish off and get the killing spree for Rosen. Aristotle try to see if he can help out his AD carry, but he was a little bit too late to the party. Instead, just going to get a little bit of chip damage onto the tree and try to scare them away.
Here's Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, Brilliant Soul coming in with the collapse from behind. The shields keep him alive. Cosmic Radiance from Tom Food. It will barely keep his health bar intact. But it might be the dive coming in from Flavius. Doesn't finally finish off anybody. As we see the Rift Herald pop in the bot lane. Top lane gonna lose the life Bionic Bubble as well. So Truman across the map making the plays. Trying to see if they can keep up the pressure so they can finish off Principia as quickly as possible. Even going on to Tom Food and knocking him back. Finishing him off pretty quickly, but they lose Flavius in the entire run of that. And they'll dive on to Aristotle. I think it's going to finally work out. Look at this, Tador. He died at the beginning of this, and he's back up and to try to see if he can help out, but Rosen and Dekif, they make the call to just take down the tower.
So the Leandri's Torment is actually a standard. Hold on, they're still going to fight because why not?
Yeah, you know what? Why not? Might as well go on to Tador, smack him around, pick him up. Pretty easy for them. This is looking like the snowball that Truman's been wanting this entire time. Look at this. This game was so close just a couple minutes ago. Now it's a 10,000 gold lead almost for the side of Truman.
And we're seeing why Truman actually went 4-2. So Truman, it was in the North Conference. It's arguably both these teams are actually in the North Conference. Arguably the most difficult conference in Collegiate League of Legends right now. They have again arguably some of the best teams there. Truman, they went 4-2. Principia, I think it was 2-4. So we're seeing the difference in skill play here. A lot of macro put by Truman as they're able to take up all these objectives, along with just creating a bloodbath in this game. We're already at 26 kills at 20 minutes. We've had more kills than we've had over 1 kill a minute so far, and it's still going. There's still a Baron to be taken right now. Banner Command is on my pet cactus. There's no Banner Command on the side of Truman, so you would think that they would lose this game on a meme level, but they're not, because when you have this much power, you don't really need Banner Command, and now they're going to go right in on to the Baron.
Yeah, they exploded this game, so they might as well just try to see if they can pick up the one objective to end the game, especially if Pet Cactus has a Banner Command. You don't want him to have it. Hell, you don't want to see anyone from Prin be able to take that sort of objective and push into your face. Want to end this game as quickly as possible so you can take a nice 2-0 victory if you can after this dominating type of performance.
So some things I have been seeing as well is players actually selling some of their items once they get the Baron, just to get the Banner Baron. BBC, Banner Baron, and Cannon. Don't Google that at all, but that is the strategy that you would be going for if you do get that Baron empowered minions, is that sometimes, again, it's not all the time, but you do see players actually selling their items just to get that extra power on the siege, because a Baron empowered bannered cannon minion can absolutely destroy towers outside of the range of clear for the enemy team. And that might be something they might be thinking of, especially now that they have the Mountain Drake just to add a little bit more to their siege power.
Yeah, but I think the play from Truman is they want to see if they can get another pick. Find Aristotle hiding in this bush, it would be very nice for them, but all of Prin are kind of grouping around, and they're going to go on to Rosen, a lot of damage, but look who fell first, it was Zodor, going for a little bit more action. Will the Realm Warp get Aristotle out? It will finally, but he loses My Pet Cactus in the process, so 2 picked off for the side of Truman. This means they can easily turn their attention to taking down these inhibitor towers.
Yeah, and they're going to go straight into it. Actually, mid lane, yeah, how much chaos has been happening. It's hard to believe that the mid lane outer turret, or inner turret is still available, but it's not anymore. They just took it. Yeah, they just took it, and now they're going on to the inhibitor turrets, and that was huge because Rosen went straight in and actually got a kill. He got picked and still got a kill and still got out. That's the power that Truman has right now.
Let's see if Prin can put any sort of defense up. They have 4 members up now, but nope. Unfortunately, Tom Food, he fell way too quickly, and they flash forward to try to see if they can pick up a few more Bionic Bubble. He looks like he's going to be the target who finally falls. The Roar to do a little bit of chip damage onto My Pet Cactus, but it's not enough because, man, Theodore taking so much, and I think it was one more auto finally finished off for Mucky into that backline. They do lose Rosen, but they traded on to Cactus. Finishing off these health bars, just making it so that it's that much easier for Truman to finally go for the final play, as Aristotle gonna get a lot of damage, and the arrow to pierce the heart of Aristotle and pierce the heart of Prin, as they are gonna lose game 1 with Truman putting up a dominating performance once they turned on the heat. God, that was intense.
35 kills, 25 of those for Truman, and they're not done yet. They could still get another kill. There's a flash. But I
I think they
this-
just want to end.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. They might actually hold on here. No, they can't. Monkey's gonna get
No, yep. Miyamoki's gonna get it. It almost looked like there was a little bit of a glimmer of hope for them once they landed that glacial prison, but game one still goes for Truman. Man, that was a crazy, weird game out of that team.
Yeah, that was an interesting comp that I didn't quite understand, but going into those team fights, again, a 2v2 can become a 2v4 with how mobile, well, it's not just the mobile, it's how Aurelion Sol and Kane can get through impassable terrains and just float over or go through them and just come out from nowhere. Whenever you're going against those two, you have to not think about, like you're in the tri-brush, you have to not just think about the three exits on the top side. You have to think about coming through the barren pit, the barren pit, over a mountain, anything like that, because any of those, like Kane and the big two roamers, Kane and Aurelion Sol, they don't have to use traditional routes to get into a team fight. They can just come out from anywhere, and that played heavily in the advantage of early game for Truman.
Yeah, they just went for a weird pick sort of composition that, honestly, I don't understand still how it worked today. Like right now, after watching that game, I watched it all, and I'm just like, wow, that worked. That was really smart, but that was really weird at the same time. But props to them for being able to turn on the heat once they were able to pick up a couple kills, because early into the game, it was actually really even. It was back and forth. They weren't getting the proper picks onto the members they wanted. There was the invade that TB Rosen went for, where he didn't have the proper wave setup from top lane, so he's collapsed on by My Pet Cactus.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that even the picks that Principia did get, the little advantages, they were all just turned to nothing whenever Aurelion Sol and whenever Arcadius and Rosen just started roaming together. That was the big thing. They absolutely destroyed after a while, and they focused on the bot side rather than the top side, which was huge for them because again they can get all those objectives, they can push them very quickly and get the Drake, and there was really nothing taken by Principia. They just got outmaneuvered this entire time. That's one of the big things about Teemo Cup is that we get to see weird comps like this. I'm really excited because these are all best of 3. Keep in mind, these are best of 3. The playoffs are best of 5. Teemo Cup best of 3. So we do have another game coming in as we get set up for the lobby. My name is Joshua Fekes Quest. I am here with Alex Magical Wielden. We'll be back in just a moment.